Hey guys, welcome back to the Tuckered Mama podcast. I'm your host, Sammy Collins, and this is where we talk about real conversations about motherhood, family life, all of the beautiful, the messy moments, everything in between. Today's Mom Spotlight is something I know that you guys are going to totally resonate and connect with. You guys have been asking me, and here I am. We're going to be talking about postpartum life, because that stage often gets overlooked, which is very sad after the baby comes. So we're going to dive into that today. Joining me today is a good friend of mine, Lauren. Lauren is a postpartum doula who helps moms navigate through those early stages of motherhood and post-birth with support, guidance, and encouragement. We're going to learn a little bit more about her and her motherhood journey, how she found this calling, and the ways that she helps moms in this new stage of life feel seen, supported, and cared for during one of the biggest transitions of our lives. So, whether you're currently expecting or recently are welcoming a new baby, or you know somebody who's entering into motherhood right now, this conversation is going to be full of insight and encouragement. So, let's jump right in, y'all. Let's welcome Lauren. Hey, Lauren, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? You're Lauren, you're a postpartum doula. Where do you live? How many kids do you have? What's mom life looking like for you right now?
I am a wife, a mom of three, a full spectrum doula. I live in Lilburn. Let's see, my kids are 7, 5, and 3, girl, boy, girl, and they are so different. It's incredible, but they keep me very busy. So we like to be outside, camping, and generally causing good chaos.
Okay. So when you go camping, where do you go?
We're going to DeSoto Falls this weekend,
Okay.
which is a repeat place for us.
Okay, cool. So you're a little familiar. Is that for Father's Day weekend or
It
just happened to
is,
be on
yeah.
Father's Day?
We're doing a big group camping trip. So there's, I think, 6 families going.
Oh, wow. That sounds really cool. I am not a camper. I'm a glamper. I want the hotel. I want all the things, but so cool. I love to hear about that, and it's really cool. So who's more of the camper, you or your husband?
We both kind of, that's one of the things that we kind of bonded over in college. And so we were like, okay, we're going to do this. Our kids are feral. And so getting them outside, running around is the best thing for them. And it's really awesome.
Yeah, totally agree. Kids outside, like, they'll be screaming, and the second you take them out, it's like, it's a new person, and it's like, "Bro, you were just screaming your head off inside." Like, taking them outside just completely changes it. So
Oh, yeah. Fresh air, sunshine. It's going to be great.
yeah. Oh, I'm excited. Well, and the weather looks like it's gonna turn out to be much better, because if y'all are listening and you don't know where we live, it's been raining on and off, like, for 3 or 4 weeks now. It's crazy. We needed it, though, so I'm happy
Yeah.
about it, but,
Yeah, we
if
looked
your
at the weather
friend
forecast and it looks like the Red Sea. It's like Thursday is complete rain, and then Friday, Saturday, half of Sunday is dry, and then Sunday is rain again. So we're going at the perfect time.
Perfect. Yeah, I think it's all cleared up because, God knows it's Father's Day weekend, so he's like, "All right, y'all need to have your time, and these dads don't need to be stressed anymore. Get the kids outside."
We've done the rainy camping weekend before. It's not something we want to do again.
Yeah, I bet. My friend is a big camper, and she has canceled a couple times because of the rain, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't wanna go when it is sunny, so no, I don't wanna do the rain." So if your friends could describe you in 3 words, what would they say about you? Like, besides being adventurous and outdoorsy, what else would they say about you?
I am warm, encouraging, and excitable. I'm kind of
Okay.
like a puppy. If you tell me your business idea, if you tell me what you're working on, I'm your cheerleader. I'm there for you, and we're gonna rock it together.
Perfect. Well, that's why you found this calling, I'm sure.
Yes.
What first sparked your interest in being a postpartum doula?
So I was the first of my friends to have kids. And so then when they had their kids, I would go and I would um, kind of teach them how to do everything. They would text me when they were in labor. Hey, I think I'm having a contraction. What does that feel like? And so I got to be their sounding board when they had their babies, and I loved it. And I had a different job before this, and my when my kiddos got sick. And so I took some time off, spent time with them. When they got better, I was able to go back to the workforce. And I was like, asked my friends, I was like, I'm not a desk kind of gal. I don't know what I want to do, but do you have any suggestions? And they were like, you should be a postpartum doula. That's what you've been doing for us, and you've crushed it. Just keep going, but do it for other people. And so I got certified and I did, and it's just completely blown up from there.
Wow. So what were you doing before you decided to switch gears to a new career?
So, you know those big balloon arches?
Yes.
Yes, I would make those. I made custom 3-foot balloons.
Oh my gosh, girl, we have got to talk because I have done balloons. My stepmother had a balloon company and I know all about the balloon industry. So we
Yes,
have got to talk. We have got to plan together because some days I will be referencing you. I only do them for my kids' parties now and like some of my
same,
friends
same.
because
I'm
I'm
out.
like, first of all, it's a lot of work and like this, it's so much pressure. I did it one time. Like I don't do it for a living at all, but I did it
Mm,
one time for Tucker High School over here for their baseball event. I was so stressed the whole time. The mom wanted the arch and it was beautiful that she wanted the arch on the field, but then they wanted to walk through it because it was senior night and then she wanted to move it. And I was like, you want to do what? No, 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 no. Like you don't understand. You can't move it once it's like set, it's set. So of course she got all the baseball people to like pick it up and move it and they popped everywhere. I'm like, I warned you. I told you about this. So, and she was fine. It all worked out. She's like, that's all I wanted. I just wanted it for the pictures, for the walkout, song and all the whatever. So, I feel you. I would not. My stepmom has taken a step back from that industry too. It's very intense and high pressure. Oh my
it
gosh.
was. It was all nights, it was all weekends, it was all days. Like I swear I was working all the time.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
the
was
other
very
thing. It's
excited.
always the weekends. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
a
I was very
lot.
excited to step back from that.
Yeah. So, are there any specific experiences in your own motherhood journey that led you to this path? Like, what made you reach out to those friends and help them besides just becoming a mother? Like, did you realize, like, oh, I've done a lot of research on this newborn phase. I feel like I can help my friends, or did you research that? I know I was like a big Googler with my firstborn, like trying to find all the things out and make sure we're checking all the milestones and doing all and then by the time you get to the second and third, you're like, what's a milestone? He'll get to it. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things that I I had postpartum depression with all three. And so I was low, low, low. And my friends had no idea what it was. And they were like, oh, Lauren had a baby. Great. And then it was kind of dropped off the earth from there. And then when they had their kids, they were like, oh my gosh, I didn't do anything for you. Like nobody realizes how much we need community when we have the baby until you've had the baby. And then you realize that you've kind of been a crappy friend. Um, and so it was one of those things where I was like, oh, my friends weren't there for me, but they didn't know. It's not that they were intentionally being bad friends, they just didn't know what needed to be done. There was no mothering the mother for my first. And so then when they had their babies, I was like, I know what I missed out on, so I'm going to go do that for you. And then they were so apologetic. And I was like, it's okay. You don't know until you know.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then once I kind of came out of the depression with each kid, it was another like reawakening of like, oh, people do this literally without anything all the time. And that's not how this should be at all.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, with the first born, your first child, it's like you said your friends don't know to check on you because maybe they're not mothers yet and they haven't been through that postpartum depression, which I think that every single person in some form or fashion goes through that. It looks different for everybody, but also like when you are a new mom, you kind of think like, oh, is this how it's supposed to be? Like you don't even know that you should be reaching out and asking for help and like you just think that you're supposed to figure it all out on your own, and it doesn't need to be like that. Like, people don't know that they should be asking for help, and that your body's and your hormones are going to go through all these different phases, and you're going to need that help, and you need to have support and people to reach out to, like you. I mean, I don't know, like you said, people don't know to check on you, but also you don't know to check on yourself and to ask for that help.
Yeah. There's definitely a gap between preparing for birth and actually being supported after birth, because so many people are like worried about labor. And then not that people should be worried about postpartum, but like they don't even think about it.
Right.
They're like, I'm just going to have a baby. And it's like, it's so much deeper than that.
Yeah. I think people prepare you and like make you go to the birthing classes and, all of the, breathing classes and your partner going with you. And I remember, not to like knock this class that I went to, but my sister-in-law suggested we go to this class that she went to, and it was very helpful for her. She had not been around many kids and many babies. And when I went there, it was kind of like teaching you how to change a diaper, and no knock to them, but like I'm the oldest of 7. I've changed many, many diapers. I've worked in childcare for a long time. So that wasn't really important. I wish I had taken something related to postpartum and like why my body's going through this and what changes I'm going to have. And you're not going to bounce back to that size you were before, and your hips change and all the things. Like, I wish more classes and more people were coached and told to do that, because I never was, for sure. So
Right.
what certifications did you even have to get to become a postpartum doula? And for people who don't know the difference between a doula during like the birthing season and then a postpartum doula, like, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So I worked with this organization called Cornerstone, and I learned so much through them because I did a certification through another um, organization, and it was very vanilla. I didn't learn a lot. And so I realized there are certain groups of people that I hadn't worked with before. And so with Cornerstone, I was able to learn all about that and get my certification through them. So it includes like physical recovery, newborn care, feeding support, emotional support, family adjustment, and knowing when to refer out, because we're not medical professionals. So we basically hold mothers through this beautiful time. And when there's something that is beyond us, we know when to refer out to the medical professionals. I'm trained to support the whole family system, but especially the mother as she recovers and adjusts. A postpartum doula is a trained support person. We come alongside a family after birth to help with recovery, newborn care, emotional support, practical household help, and confidence building. And I think those last two are probably the top two in my book, because I will come into a home, and sometimes, if it's not like the first 2 weeks, if the mom wants to do the dishes and feel normal again, I will hold the baby so that she can go do dishes. But if she wants to hold the baby and bond with her baby, I will go do dishes. So it's just coming in and seeing where they are on that day, because it can change every shift. And then a lot of it is confidence building. It's saying, hey, I see what you're doing, and it is great. Like, you're not missing anything. You're not doing anything wrong. It feels hard because it is hard, but it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong.
It's amazing.
We're not there to judge anything. Like, people will say like, oh, well, I don't know what I'm doing. That's why I'm there, like that's thank you for trusting me and opening your home and opening this part of your life to me. And we're going to walk through this together.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a vulnerable time too. I remember exactly what you just said about the dishes comparison. I remember crying to my husband making sandwiches for his lunch, because I am a loving wife and I make him his lunches. Not that he can't do it himself. He's more than capable, but I make his lunches for the week, and I remember like not even maybe a couple days, maybe a week or two into postpartum, but I was like downstairs crying, making the sandwiches because he was trying to take over. And I screamed at him, like, no, I want to make the lunches. This is making me feel normal again. Like, I want to do this. Like, go hold the baby. Yeah, exactly what you just said. Like, people need that. And you're right. Every shift looks different. It's really vulnerable. People are, their house is a mess and there's stuff everywhere. You can't keep up. You probably smell like spit up and sweat and other bodily functions, whatever, because you haven't showered. So I wish I had pulled this up before this episode. I shared on our local moms page anonymously at 7 months when I was postpartum with my daughter a super long post about how desperate I was for a shower and how lonely I felt, and like literally the most postpartum feeling I've ever felt, like all in this long essay on there. And so many people commented and reached out. And I just like the next day I wrote it late at night. And the next day I remember like feeling a relief that I let it out, even though it was anonymous. And then I didn't even take up one person on their offer. And I totally should have. But like, you feel, I don't know, I guess I felt like a little embarrassed, but you shouldn't feel embarrassed for asking for help. And that's where you come in for so many people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of those things too where people think that asking for help when they're in the trenches is a bad thing. But I'm trying to get people to realize that if we can plan for this while you're pregnant and like know that this is coming, then the trench never gets that low
Right,
because you have support the whole time.
right. Did you hit postpartum depression or anxiety like with all three of your kids around the same phase? For me, it was 7 months with both. I have two kids with both of my kids. And I don't know why, but like I said this before in a previous episode, that was when, the actual food started coming in and I was like slowly weaning a little bit, but not weaning, but like, your milk supply was changing. And then again, like once I stopped nursing, that was when it hit me again. It wasn't just one time of postpartum for me, it came back.
Mm,
And I'm sure it'll come back again when I, realize that I'm probably not going to have any more kids, and that makes me sad, but that's just how me and my husband are planning. So
yeah. It was pretty quick. Like it was like baby blues, which is like 2 to 3 weeks, and then a break. And then I feel like it just hit me like a train. And I like couldn't get away from it. And then I think it was through for at least the last one, because I remember that one vividly. She was like 18 months old when I started feeling like myself again. And I was like, that's a long time. So
yeah,
whenever people talk about postpartum, I'm like, for me personally, 2 years. Like I will support you through 2 years because it's not 6 weeks. There's no bouncing back. There's none of that. I take all that language and I squash it. We are changed. We are changed as mothers. We are changed as people. There is no 6 week timeline that anybody has to follow.
yeah. You just sparked a question that I had written down a while ago when I thought about this episode. And it was when you said postpartum blues, I wrote down, what's the difference between postpartum blues and postpartum depression? Like, could you elaborate on that a little bit? Because I didn't even know the term postpartum blues. I always just thought it was postpartum depression and also like postpartum anxiety. Like, can you say the difference between all three of those a little bit?
Yeah, again, this is part of where I refer out. So I'm looking for certain signs with my specific clients because I've met them while they were still pregnant. So I can see how they were before. And then if they're starting to show signs that we're Googling everything, we are back and forth texting a lot about very specific questions. And it's not, and I don't want anybody to ever feel like it's wrong to ask questions, but it's a pattern along with other symptoms where we are not trusting ourselves to take care of our baby. That's where I feel like postpartum anxiety comes in. because we are asking too many questions. We are overthinking everything, and nothing feels innate. Nothing feels like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. We're not bonding with our babies. We're just constantly like buzzy. That's where I feel like I might refer out for postpartum anxiety. With the baby blues, we go through such a dramatic shift in hormones when we have our baby. And so with that drop in hormones, we are more likely to just feel overwhelmed and sad and just randomly cry for 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. It's when it goes past that we're starting to look at postpartum depression. And postpartum depression too can feel like not bonding with the baby, feeling detached from everything, and just this overall sense that like, and for some people it's my baby would be better off with another mom. Like, I'm not doing a good job. Another mom could do this better. That's when we're looking at postpartum depression. And there's like a laundry list of symptoms, but those are my top ones that I'm looking for.
Right. Wow. So when you are reaching out for other extra support for these people, do you have like a certain list that you're going to and people that you are referring? And do you talk about that during the pregnancy? Like, hey, if I see these signs, this is the next step I'm going to take for you. And I need you to be okay with that, because I feel like some people I know don't take they take it as criticism, or like that you're coming at them, and it's not. It's like, hey, I'm concerned about you and you need help. So do they understand that, like, before you refer all this stuff out?
Yeah, they know that I'm coming at it with love. There's never any judgment attached to it. It's always, I want you to feel better, because I know what it feels like getting help, because I got help with some pregnancies and didn't get help with some. And so I know what it feels like to feel better, and I want that for them. So Postpartum Support International is one of my favorite things to refer out to. They have online support groups for very specific groups of people. So you can find your group in there and log on, and then you have virtual support. And then they also help you find support outside of those groups as well.
Okay. So for someone who's listening right now, like a new mom, and she's looking for that, like, is it ever too late to hire someone like you, like a postpartum doula? Like, do you feel like that person needs to be involved during the pregnancy to help, like you said, notice the difference between their personalities? Or like, I just don't want people to feel like it's too late to reach out if they need help.
It's never too late, never ever too late. And I think if either you're noticing it in yourself, or your partner or a family member is noticing it in you and they've mentioned it to you, it's definitely a great idea to go ahead and go onto the Postpartum Support International website, go through those channels, and see if you can get a postpartum doula to come and help with some of the other tasks while you're also getting the mental health help.
Right. Because that's where you like fall short, is where like, who's going to watch my kid while I sit here and I'm online for an hour or 2 hours, and I need someone to watch them so that I can better myself to get back to being a mom.
Yeah. And I think one of the differences between just hiring like a mother's helper or a babysitter during those times is that I like to take my mom hat and put it on when I walk into the door. So a lot of times I do the notice and do kind of theory. And so I'll walk in and I'll go, oh, if this was my house and there's shoes in a pile, I would like those to be tidied. Oh, I noticed that there's dishes in the sink. Let's put those in the dishwasher and get the rest of them cleaned and put away. So, and I'm also going to be really good at getting the baby down to sleep or wearing the baby, depending on what age and stage the baby's in. So I can do those things simultaneously, where maybe somebody that's not trained in that can't do all the things at once.
Right.
But if you can afford a mother's helper and that's how you get help, amazing, do it. I'm not trying to knock that, but it's just, what can you afford? What can you do? And what kind of help can you get?
Right. And I mean, it, like you said, it depends on what phase you're in. Cause I have a mother's helper right now that comes, I have a 3.5-year-old and 16-month-old, but she's a young high schooler to come. And literally, I just told her when I was looking for someone to help me, I need someone to keep them alive so that I can go and do the laundry or, work on my business or whatever, just keep them alive. And my daughter's very communicative now and she talks really well. So she always tells me, and I'm home the whole time, but like, I don't think I would feel comfortable hiring a high schooler to come with a newborn who clearly has not been a mom yet. So, and I think that makes a big difference too. Like, I would feel more comfortable with someone like you who is in this field, but also you are a mom yourself
Mhm.
and you've been through these phases. I think it's much easier to bond with you and to, I don't know, feel comfortable because yeah, that's just how I feel. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's also what I tell my kids, like when we're in like a crowded space, I say, if you get lost, go find a mom. Like
Right.
you know that the other moms understand things inherently and they know what to do and all the things. So not knocking any dads, but go find a mom, like, and
Right.
that could be our advice to each other as well. Go find a mom.
Yes, and I literally, in my most recent episode, told the story of how at one of the Tucker events, my daughter followed these two 8 and 9-year-old girls to go get bubbles from this booth stand. And she completely walked into this humongous crowd really far away from me. And then I'm freaking out, like frantically looking for her everywhere. And here she comes back down the middle of the sidewalk. And I'm like with the bubbles in her hand. And I'm like, oh my God, it was like 15 minutes. I was looking for her. Like literally, I was about to get on the stage and take the mic
Mhm.
and be like, purple shirt, black pants, like blonde hair, like just freaking out. And I always coach her and tell her, like, anytime we go to the zoo, look for a mom. I always tell her too, because she's only 3. I'm like, moms know all moms. Like, she's like, but how are they gonna know that you're my mom? I'm like, moms know all moms. Like, she will find out who I am and where I'm coming from. Like, she will find us. And then, yeah, not
So
to
look
knock
for the
any
frantic
dads.
mom. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then it was so funny. I told this previously, so people are listening are probably like, I already heard this, but they were like, we were at the zoo, and the first time I mentioned this theory and idea to her, she like put it into play right away. And I was literally within like walking distance of her, and the mom's like, "Oh my God, honey, of course!" And of course she's so helpful. And I'm just like, "Hey, that's my kid. I'm right here." Like, it was just funny to see her like put it into play so quickly. It made me feel
Yeah.
good, but you have to do
Oh,
that
she was like, I'm
sometimes.
trying, I'm learning.
Yeah. So, what are some most common ways that you support people? Like, what's the most common thing? Like, are you on doing the tasks for them and the chores, or are more moms leaning into resting and showering while you hold the baby, or kind of a mix of everything?
Right now, I'm doing more overnights. So obviously that's rest. And so when I get there, usually mom will go shower and then go to sleep. And then it depends from there if she's nursing, pumping, or formula feeding. Obviously, formula feeding, she gets to sleep all night. Um, Pumping and breastfeeding, I try and just get them to do just that task. So I'll get the baby up, get their diaper changed, bring them to mom. Um, and then if they're pumping, I'll wash all the pump parts all around the time that they pumped, label everything, get everything back in so that they're literally just up to pump and then go back down. Um,
So nice.
I know.
I didn't
Yeah.
even think about like overnight task. I'm like, oh yeah, all the 2 and 3 hours you have to get up. Holy moly.
Right. Especially those first couple weeks where it's every 2 to 3 hours. And you think about it and you go, oh, 2 to 3 hours of sleep, like in between, that's fine. But then you take all the time that it takes to do all the little tasks, you're getting maybe an hour of sleep before you have to do it all over again. Like, it's insane. So, and then with my youngest, we had to triple feed. Do you know what that is?
No. Tell me what triple feed is. What is that?
So you nurse on one side, you pump on the other, you switch, and then you take what you've pumped and bottle feed them afterwards.
Oh My word, that sounds like so much. Why did you have to triple feed? Why is that a reason?
So my daughter left the hospital under 5 pounds.
Okay.
And so she was tiny. She was little bitty. And so they were like, okay, well, to get her back up to birth weight and beyond, because she was obviously so tiny when she came out, like, we really need to pump her up and like feed all the time. And so it was like every 2 hours we had to triple feed. And so it was like from the time the timer went off, you just started the timer again for 2 hours. And so we would do that each night. And my husband was incredible. He would do everything around the feeds. He would be the one washing and doing all the stuff. Like, he was my postpartum doula. And we had looked into one when I was postpartum with her, but we were like, oh, I think we can do it. I think we can do it. And then when we were in the trenches, we were like, we can't do it. But now we're like, it's too late. We had that mentality.
Yeah.
And I just want to shake myself. Like, it was never too late. We totally could have hired somebody, but I think that was also the shame with all of it. I don't know. I'm still trying to like wrap my head around like why we didn't do anything. But I think a lot of it was shame of like thinking that it shouldn't have been that hard. But sometimes it is, and you need help with it, and that's fine.
Yeah. I think after each kid, you learn more and more about what you could have done. And then like maybe by the round 3, did you have a postpartum doula for your third?
No, that was the one that we were thinking about it, but then never did.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So
okay. I thought the girl was the middle, but it's boy, boy, girl.
it's girl, boy, girl.
Girl, boy, girl. Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So your second girl. Gotcha.
Yeah, because we had my middle kiddo during COVID, so like that wasn't even an option. Like,
Yeah.
people were. It was October of 2020. Like, it was shut down.
Yeah. Not like at the beginning, the March, April area,
Right.
like in the middle, oh my gosh, that is crazy. Yeah. Luckily, I had my firstborn was 2022, but I remember like all the weddings and my friends were like getting married, and I was engaged in 2021, but like didn't get married till 22. And yeah, all the cancellations of everything. That was a crazy, crazy time. I still can't even like, sometimes it feels like a dream. Like, did we really live through that? Like, crazy. So coming in and helping them and overnight stuff, I've never heard of the triple feed before. But what are some common misconceptions that people have about postpartum doulas? Like, we've been talking about this whole time, like why it's necessary and why you need it, but why do people feel like they don't? And like, what's something common that people often say, or you read about, or you see, I'm sure that like is not true?
I think a lot of people that maybe that I have consults with that are thinking about it and then end up not hiring me. They're like, "Oh, well, I have family, so I think I'm going to be okay. I just wanted to see what this was all about." And I think having family is incredible when they come help, but I'm certified in what I'm doing. Like,
Mhm.
I have all this training. I've done it myself. There are certain things that I'm looking for that your family's not. And I there's no expectation of you hosting me where your family could have that expectation. Or they could, I don't know. It depends on the family members. They could get fed up with certain tasks. I don't know. But it's literally my job to wash all the like pump parts and bottle parts, and some family members might not be comfortable with that. Like, you never know. So um I think having family is amazing. That's helpful, but I think having an outside person is probably your best bet.
Yeah. And like overnights, I mean, they're normal living citizens too. They're going to want to, be awake during the day. They're not just over there
Mhm.
for cuddles. Like, I mean, you're not just over there for cuddles, like a lot of family members and all the cutesy moments. And then when it's time to go to bed, all right, you got the night shift. You good? Okay. I'll help you in the morning again. Like,
Right.
you're there for all of the things, all of the
Mhm.
phases. And like you said, washing the pump parts. I was a freaking nut about that. And I still remember like not letting my husband do it because I was like, no, I have to make sure I get every nook and cranny. Like, I want to make sure they're like super clean and done the right way. And I hand washed everything. And yeah, just doing those little tasks, I think. And people who talk to you, like, yes, if I had my mom come, she was here the first week. It just happened to fall like that. She even booked her flight a week after my due date. And then my daughter ended up being 12 days late. So she was already at my house, which was fine. It turned out to be the best, like, blessing
Yeah.
ever because I needed that help afterwards. But she did not help me overnight and she did not clean one single thing. She made me food. That was great. And did the dishes and like did some laundry, some chores, but like baby tasks, not so much. She was just there to like get cuddles. And
Mhm.
yeah, you slowly learn who people are when you're in the trenches and they're like an outsider, but
Yeah.
you want to be in the trenches with them to help them out of it. Like, that's why you need a postpartum doula.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's one of those things that you don't you don't realize it until you're like, "Oh, well, they're gonna do X, Y, or Z," and then they don't, and you're like, "Oh, no." It's not too late. It's not too late to call somebody and say, "Hey, we're in the thick of it, like, and things aren't going the way we were thinking they would, but we would like some support." That's
Yeah.
never a bad phone call.
Yeah. And I think when you're, like you said, like they're not doing what you ask, and then you have the pressure to host because I am the hostess with the mostest. I always want to
Mhm.
make sure, you got clean sheets, you got fresh towels, the bathroom's not, gross, and
Mhm.
all these things. And then you're constantly checking in on them when they're there to help you. But that's where you come in because you're not expecting any of that. You're stepping on socks as you go into the
Yeah.
bedrooms. You're, not worried about the dirty underwear on the floor. You're just there to help with the baby and the mom. So, big perk of postpartum doula. So, what are some of the biggest challenges you think that new mothers are facing today besides postpartum care? Like, what do you think new moms are facing? Like, is it just all the hormonal changes? Is it
I think it's
judgment
the
of
bounce
social
back
media?
culture.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think it's this idea that you're somehow a baby is just an addition and you're gonna come back to who you were before. And it's just not like that at all. You're a completely different person. You are changed after having this baby. And so this bounce back situation, I it just kills me.
Yeah. Bounce back with your body, bounce back with yourself, and back to the, party life. Like, none of that is coming right back. It may one day, but you got to work on all of those things.
There's
And
no bouncing back into that, like
yeah,
you can step and you can take baby steps and you can get back into the things you loved before, but there's no bouncing anywhere.
no. And I think that I have grown so much as a person and I have
Mhm.
changed my whole mindset on life. And I don't know, I'm in my 30s now and I just feel like kids have made me a different person for the better. Not that I was terrible before or anything, but I like opened up my mind to so many new things and new opportunities and new ways of thinking about things.
Yes, absolutely.
So, how can partners, family members, or friends better support postpartum moms, like moms in postpartum? Like, what are some signs for not an expert, but like a friend to be looking for, like lack of communication or denying invitations to somewhere? What are some things that like I should be looking for in a friend who recently had a baby?
Yeah, I think the denying invitations could be a lot of things, but if you have that relationship where you can get to the bottom of it and say like, are you coming because you don't want to? Like you're happy as a clam in the season of motherhood and you just want to stay home and bond with your baby? Great, amazing. If you're overwhelmed and can't imagine leaving your baby, that's something to be a little aware of. Because some people, even with amazing partners, they can't imagine leaving their baby with somebody else. And that's where the postpartum anxiety might be creeping in, because of the crazy intrusive thoughts that we have. And so, or if we notice that they're crying often, feeling very numb. And then one of the bigger ones is being unable to sleep when the baby is sleeping. Like if we're not able to do that, then we truly are in sleep deprivation all the time. And that's not healthy for anybody.
Right. So would you suggest, like, this is my own advice from you. I have a friend who just had her third baby, and I
Mhm.
would love to like reach out to her and visit her more. And she's probably going to listen to this episode, but like, I don't want to be imposing on people. So would you suggest like constantly reaching out and checking in on them regardless of their response time? Or like, I don't want to be a bother to her, but also I want her to know that I'm there for her.
I have a slew of texts that I send to people um, in whatever life change is happening. Like maybe a parent has died, maybe they have a new job, maybe they just had a baby. And I have a slew of texts that I have saved, and I just send, we are just pick and choose from that list. And so some of them are, hey, I'm headed to the grocery store. Send me your list. Um, or, hey, I'm making lasagna on Wednesday. Can I bring you over some? Or do you want to pick a different day? You make it easy for them to say yes. So you could say, hey, I'm headed to pick up coffee Friday morning. What's your coffee order? Can I bring you some? Um, and then there's none of those things require them to open the door and invite you in. But if they are feeling open to that, they will add that on. They will say, hey, Wednesday sounds great. Like, why don't you come meet the baby? Or they can add on what they are comfortable with if they want to, or they can just accept the food, or the coffee or whatever. So it's one of those things that you have zero expectations on your end, but if they want to add on something on theirs, they have the opportunity to.
I love that. I'm like soaking it all in. I'm like, okay, what questions can I ask? What can I do? I need to do this week before this episode airs because I know she's going to listen to this. So I've got to like get her before she realizes that I learned this from you. That is such a good tip. I love that because, yeah, they're not like, I don't want to go into her house. Like, I know she's trying to bond and, the baby's still under 2 months and
Mhm.
needs vaccines if they're going that route and all the things. So I don't want to intrude at all or during nap time, but I would love to be like, hey, just thinking about you, like, can I do something for you without invading the home or going in or whatever. So, thank you. I needed that. I knew I
Really,
was like, how do I reach out?
yeah, another one that could be really good, but specifically for a postpartum mom is, hey, leave your laundry bin outside. Like, I'll come
Mm.
grab it. And then you do their laundry and then you bring it back.
Oh, that's so good. My husband is a dry cleaner, so I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, Steve will wash all your clothes. Set it outside in a bag. I'll come pick it
Mhm.
up and drop it back off." Like,
Exactly.
oh my God, you're giving me so many thoughts. Love this, love this. So, how can a partner I guess we kind of already talked about that. Like, would a partner be looking for these same signs and would they be reaching out to support or like, I don't know, how can a partner be more supportive? Not just
So I do this with my clients where we actually come up with a worksheet before they give birth. And so the partner has this, I tell the partner, this is your job. You're printing this, you're putting this on the fridge, and it has everybody's phone number and name. So it's their pediatrician, it's the OB. They find a therapist beforehand, so that when they're if and when they're in the trenches, they don't have to go then and spend the energy when they're sleep deprived looking for a therapist. They have one already. They picked one out. Um, so they have the therapist number, and then there's a whole chart of signs and symptoms of things to look for. And it's for the baby, it's for the mom, it's for everybody. So Dad has access to that all the time, and it's easy to reference. So we definitely go through that during our appointments.
That's great. Yeah, that's another thing. You got to plan for after pregnancy because they tell you all these things to plan for during pregnancy, but postpartum, you need to have a list of all these things because you are sleep deprived. And I don't want to spend, when the baby's crying in the background, 30, 40 minutes looking up where can I go? Who can I reach out to? Like, who's available? What's the right contact? So that's great. Yeah, that definitely needs to be on the fridge. Great.
You don't want to be looking out the address to CHOA at 2 a.m. while your baby's crying. Like, you want that saved in your phone with the CHOA hotline, like their address already ready to go. Like, if you need to go, you don't want to be Googling that.
Right, right. So, what is some advice that you would give a mom? I know we've talked about a lot of advice through this episode, and I really, really appreciate you being here because there's been so many questions that people have been reaching out. And like, she's one of my friend I'm talking about, she's one of them that's like, you got to have a postpartum person on there. And so, I'm so glad you're here. But what's some advice coming from a postpartum doula that you would give to moms right now who feel overwhelmed? They're exhausted, they're really struggling right now. Like, but they're scared to make that step to reach out to you or someone
Mhm.
like you.
So two things. Start with the next basic need: food, water, sleep, shower, or support. Um, Pick one, choose it, and do it. Um, and then you don't have to earn support by falling apart. You're allowed to need help before it becomes a crisis. So even if things feel like a little bit hard, you can ask for support. It doesn't need to be like, well, it's not that, you don't have to say like, well, it's not that bad. That's okay. You can still get support even if it's not that bad. Like, it doesn't need to be a crisis.
Yeah. I like that you said it like that because I have another friend who her baby is almost 18 months now. And I think she's just now feeling postpartum. And
Mm.
she relayed that to me. And I don't think she's going to listen, but it doesn't matter if she does. But I'm not saying any names, but she needs to listen to this because she has mentioned to me, like, oh, I don't wanna do therapy or anything. I don't want to be something wrong with me. And that's her mindset that she's in, and I'm like, first of all, millions of people are in therapy, and it doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It actually means that you're bettering yourself for your son, and I tried to explain it like that to her, but I think I've known her a long time, so, like, coming from me, she's kinda like, "Yeah, okay, whatever," not really, like, taking it as practical advice. So I think you're right. I'm gonna say that to her, like, you don't need to just even have, like, a little bit of, "Oh, I'm kind of feeling it, maybe, I don't know." Like, it could be something and you should reach out.
And I think that's where the Postpartum Support International groups come into play too, because for a lot of people, that's step one. They get into that and they're like, I'm just joining other people in my situation and we're going to hear what they say. And then they hear what they say and they go, oh, I'm not alone. And you feel that too. And like, you're getting help and you're seeing a therapist. And so I can see it there. Like, it gives people permission to then take the next step and maybe call a therapist, which is amazing.
Right, yeah, I think when you're in a group and you're, like, seeing that's, like, not peer pressure, but, like,
Mhm.
friendship, like,
Yep.
building, bonding that you're feeling not so alone, like you just said. And she's a younger mom, so I don't know if that has to do with anything too, like, she's barely 21
Mhm.
and maybe, like, her other friends haven't had children yet and this happened, and I think your age has a lot to do with it too,
Mhm.
like, with your body maybe changing, same hormones, but also, like, she's changing sooner than her other friends who still look like toothpicks, and it's like she's comparing herself, and social media just does not help anybody. But what's one thing that every expecting mom should prepare for before bringing baby home, even if it weren't like a postpartum doula? Like, what's something that you would suggest that moms should prepare for?
I want families to prepare the care system. So if it's not somebody like me coming in, okay, how are you getting fed? Are you getting any help overnight? Is it your partner? Is it somebody else that you're hiring? Um, Like because if it's just mom overnight, we have issues. This is to all the dads. You need to be waking up with your partner. And then who can come over without needing to be hosted? That's one of the biggest things, because we don't want it to be a burden on mom to have help. It's not like, oh, well, I need to have all these things out, or it needs to be tidy for this person to come over. No. None of that.
Yeah. And your husband waking up overnight with you is such a big help. Like my husband, I don't even think that he um obviously did not do any of the feedings. I mean, I was nursing, but that's not
Yeah.
obvious from people, but I was doing the nursing and he was literally I remember he was standing over me one time and my daughter, she did not like to have a wet diaper. So
Mhm.
literally every wake up, every 2 hours, I changed her diaper. Otherwise she would scream crying. And my son did not care. He would like have a full diaper when he woke up in the morning. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. Like at least you slept for, 3 or 4 hours straight. And she was every 2 hours, had to be fed. And then she was very colicky. So she had to like sit up for a while, and I just remember, like, sleeping in my chair with her on my chest, like, trying to go back to sleep. Because then, like you said, and you only have 1 hour of sleep, if that, and then you're back at starting again from the beginning, and I just remember changing her one time, and he goes, what did he say? He said something like, "Should I get the Aquaphor?" Like, super loud, and I was like, "Shh! What are you doing? Stop talking to her! Like, what are you shh, lower your voice." Like, we're trying to keep it quiet, trying to get her not fully awake, you just wanna
Right.
nurse them and get them back to sleep, and I just remember him full volume, like, saying something to me, and I'm like, "Dude, shush, like, bring it down." But even him just being there, like, standing next to me, even though I was changing the diaper, like, I still felt his presence and
Yeah.
him there, like, even though he was just literally standing there, but
Yeah. I mean, it does. It makes you anything that you can do so that mom doesn't feel alone in it. Amazing.
yeah. So if you could leave moms with one piece of encouragement today, right now, what would it be?
Let's see. Postpartum is not a test of how much you can handle alone. It's a season where you deserve to be deeply supported. So I think the key word there is deserve, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's okay. I don't need that. It's fine." And it's like, no, you deserve that.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, this whole conversation was just like, I hope that the right people find this episode. I hope that the right people hear this and the importance of all this. I mean, just thank you again, Lauren, for joining us today. I really appreciate you coming on. It's late at night, y'all. This is mom's schedule right here. We are up. It is almost 9:30 that we are recording this just for y'all. Like, I am so thankful that this community over here in Northeast Atlanta and just like in general, this community is for all moms out there. Sharing your knowledge today, Lauren, your experience, your heart with our listeners. I think that that is one of the biggest takeaways from this conversation is that moms are not meant to do this alone. And postpartum is a major transition, and having support can make a huge difference in your life. So, if you guys would like to connect with Lauren here, learn more about her services, or follow along with any of her work, I'll be sure to connect everything and link everything. If you're listening here on YouTube, I will link everything in the description below. And if you are following me along on social media, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, I will be posting everything on there as well. And to all the mamas out there listening, asking for help is not a weakness, y'all. It's wisdom. You're learning from your mistakes. You're learning as you go, not even mistakes, but just learning as you go. You're gaining all this wisdom. Your second baby, you're going to be more experienced than your first. And first time moms, like, give yourself a break. This is hard. This is hard work. Motherhood is hard. So if you enjoyed today's episode, I would love for you all to please subscribe, leave us a review after this episode. Reach out to Lauren for any questions. She's here for you. And please share this episode with a friend who might need this encouragement, y'all. And Lauren, if it's okay with you, I would love to share in a separate post on social media, all of those tips you had to reaching out to a friend, all of those questions we can ask, like, hey, like you said, I'm making meatloaf on Wednesday. Can I bring you a pan of meatloaf? And all these where they don't have a chance to say no, they can say yes easily without imposing on anything. So I would love, if that's okay with you, to share that. And then also at the end, just like all of the places that people can reach out to for support. So I'll touch base with you and we'll share those guys afterwards. And yeah, do you have anything else to add, Lauren? I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for everything. She's local in Lilburn. We'd love for you guys to connect, and I'll be sharing all of her stuff in a mom spotlight on my Instagram and all my social media. So thank you so much again, Lauren, for being here. I really appreciate it. And before anything else happens, y'all, my internet has been flaky on this episode. So, Lauren, thanks again. And I always say I always close out my episodes from two Tuckered Mamas to another one. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks again, Lauren.
Thank you.